Okay, guys, this is one of my all-time favorite lessons, like for real. Okay, it's also the last lesson in chapter 1. So when we're done with this, our test is when? Next week on Thursday. So guess what we're doing until the test? Reviewing. Okay, so if you have questions, bring them next week. Bring them on Friday. Okay? All right, let's do this thing. Angle relationships. Guys, there's 3 definitions that you need to know on this slide. They are complementary, supplementary, and adjacent. Complementary, 2 angles whose measures have the sum of 90 degrees. I want you guys to ask me, Ms. Yurko, how are we going to remember that? Ask me. Well, 90 is what kind of angle? A right. Would you say it's the right thing to do to give compliments? Say what? Okay, so it's the right thing to do to give compliments. If it's complementary, it's going to be how many degrees? 90, because it's a right angle. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, are we going to use that on our quiz or our tests? You better. Okay, supplementary are 2 angles whose measures have the sum of 180. Actually, before I jump into that, what does sum mean? You add them together. So if you add those 2 angles together, they will give you 90 degrees for complementary. For supplementary, they will equal 180. I want you guys to ask me, how are you going to remember supplementary? Go. So supplementary, right? 180 makes a what kind of angle? A straight angle. Do you agree? Or a straight line? And what did the word start with? An S? S and S, baby. Okay, supplementary means straight lines. That means 180 degrees. Adjacent, I have no trick to remember that one, okay? But how I do remember it, it's 2 angles that share a common vertex and side, but have no common interior points, okay? Essentially, they're next door neighbors, okay? They're next door neighbors. Yes.
I just resubmitted it.
Guys, complementary, supplementary, and adjacent are all different, okay? If they're complementary, they don't necessarily have to be adjacent. They don't have to be neighbors. If they're supplementary, they don't have to be neighbors either. Please look at the diagram down below. If they're complementary angles, they should add up to what? 90. So if they're next to each other, do you see how they form a 90-degree angle? So 1 and 2 are complementary. We Gucci there? These 2 are also adjacent. Do you see how they're right next door to each other? They actually share a yard, right? Your yard is your combined, like the same side. Are these complementary? They can be, because could 3 and 4 add up to 90 degrees? Yes. Yes. So remember, adjacent has three criteria, right? They have to share a side. Do you guys agree that these 2 angles, 1 and 2, share this side? Yes. Let's highlight it, okay? Highlight this side so it's shared. The second thing, they have to share a vertex. Do they share a vertex? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they both stem from this point right here. Do you guys agree? Mm-hmm. They also cannot have any interior points that are shared. So angle 1, do you guys agree, is all of these interior points in red. Are you guys cool with that? But angle 2 is all of these interior points. Do you guys agree? Do they overlap? No, then we're fine.
How would they overlap?
I'll show you. We'll see that later on. Okay? Yeah, Kristen? Yes. Same thing over here. 5 and 6, guys. They're supplementary, which means they add up to
180.
180. Are they next to each other?
Yeah.
They're neighbors, right? They share a side. They share a vertex. Are any of their interior points going to overlap? No, so they're adjacent. 7 and 8. Hayden, do you see this one? 7 and 8. Are their interior points going to overlap?
Yeah.
Yes. So are these adjacent? No. Do they share a side? No. Do they share an endpoint? Or a vertex, excuse me? No. So are these even close to being adjacent? No, they don't satisfy any of the 3 criteria. But could they be supplementary? Yeah. Yes, they could add to 180, so they could still be supplementary. Do you guys see the difference between adjacent versus supplementary and complementary?
Yeah.
Cool. cool. Moving on. All right. What is the supplement of a 72-degree angle? Hayden? 108. How'd you get that? How'd you know it had to be 180? Supplementary. So you should have done 180 minus 72, which gave you 108. Very good. What is the complement of a 72-degree angle? Cody B. 18. How'd you get that?
So the complement of angle has to equal 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So I add 72 plus 18, which gives me 90.
Yeah, or you could have done 90 minus 72. Excellent. You would have gotten 18. What is the supplement of 142? What is the supplement of 142? Ava?
38.
Excellent. It's 38. Make sure all of these have degrees on them. And the last one. Let's see if anyone can figure it out. What is the complement of 142? Hayden? No. There's no complement. Yes. Yep. But you can't have a negative angle. Okay? I will never ask you this question. Okay? Complements add up to what? 90, right? So I'll never give you an angle that's bigger than 90 and ask you that. Are we clear? This would have to be what's the supplement of 142? What?
He's saying if it was supplement, it would be 128.
Oh, no. If it was supplementary, it would be 38. Oh, what? Mario, let's talk after class. Okay. Guys, one thing that the book mentions is, do you know that C comes before S in the alphabet? 90 comes before 180 on the number line. That's another way that you can remember these, okay? Complements 90, supplements 180. Cool beans? All right. Example 1, use the figure to name a pair of complementary angles. Yeah. Correct. Don't subtract. Angles can't be negatives, okay? You... Yep. Because 32 is still less than 90, okay? Guys, give me a pair of complementary angles here. The 58 and the 32. Let's use proper notation, though. How can we label those two angles, 58 and 32? RST is one of them. Angle RST and BAC. What are the supplementary angles? Kristen?
122 degrees.
Very good. 122 and 58. Those will add to give me 180. What are their letters, though? CA what?
CAD.
Yes, CAD is one of them.
And RST.
And RST. Very good. What are the adjacent angles? John?
CAB and CAD.
Very good. Why?
Because it's together.
What?
Because it's together.
No, you're right. Okay. I like to call them neighbors, right? Guys, neighbors will share almost everything except for one letter. Do you see how they share CA? The only letter that's different is the D and the B. Okay? Adjacent angles will always share two letters, but have a third letter that's different. Gucci? Okay, let's check out the next one. Example 2. When viewed from the side, the frame of a ball return net forms a pair of supplementary angles. Let's stop. What does that mean? 180 degrees. Write it down. With the ground, find the measure of each of those angles. How would we do that?
4x plus 8 plus x plus 2 equals 180.
Wait, so you're going to add them together? Why would you do that?
To find out what x is.
Very good. But why are you adding them together? You're absolutely correct. I'm just being difficult as your teacher.
If you add them together, you should get 180.
Very good. If we sum them together, we should get 180. So we're going to set it up 180 degrees is equal to 4x plus 8. Stop talking, John. Plus x plus 2. 180 equals, what do I do? German,
Unlike terms,
what are the like terms?
4x and x and 8 and
Yes. German, what do I get?
2. I got 5x and 10.
You are right. What do I do from here? Someone take over, not German. Hayden.
Nah, hey, you got that here.
Mm-hmm. So we got 5x, hold on, one step at a time equals 170, right? What do you get when you divide 170 by 5? It's 36, right? No. It's 34. 34 equals x. Question, guys. Was it asking us to find x? Guys, I will guarantee, please make a note of this. Half of you on your quiz or your test on Thursday will stop at this point. You'll be like, I found x, I'm done. But it's not asking for x. What is this asking for? The measures of the angles. What do I have to do with x, guys? Plug it back in, okay? So plug it back in and figure out, okay, what are the measures of each of the angles? I'm going to plug it into this one because it's easy, x plus 2. It's going to be 34 plus 2, which gives me 36 degrees. What would be the measure of the other one then? Cody? 144 degrees. Okay, we could do 180 minus 36. 4. This becomes a 7 minus 3 is 4. 144. Okay, so we have to write it out. The measure of angle BCE is equal to 144 degrees. The measure of angle ECD is equal to 36 degrees. Yep. The M means that we're talking about the measure. So if you left the M off, you're just talking about the angle. You're not talking about its degrees. When we put the M, that means we're talking specifically how much is the measure of that angle. The alligator thing, that means that you're saying you're referencing an angle, right? Because if I put 3 letters but I don't put anything in front of it, what am I talking about? Nope. A plane. Okay? We have to remember this stuff, peeps. It's a lot of information, but this is the foundation of geo, okay? The foundation of our year. Any questions on this example? Let's do it. Okay. Example 2 continued, okay? Name a pair of complementary angles in this figure. I want to hear from someone different. Someone I haven't heard from today. Go ahead, Ronnie. FGK. Ooh, I like it. FGK and?
GKL.
Why?
Because the first 2 letters have to be hard. Oh, wait, no, it's 41, 90.
41 and 49 equal 90. Let's go, Ronnie. Okay. We name a pair of supplementary angles. Someone else. Someone I haven't heard from today. Come on. Someone new. Someone new. Jaden.
GKL and
You said what? GKL?
yeah,
That's one of them.
and FGH.
And FGH? Do we agree with Jaden? What's the measure of FGH? No, it's not.
No, it's bent a little bit.
It's going to be 41 and 131, which would be 172, right? If we add 172 with 49, are we going to get 180 degrees? Uh-oh. Jaden, try to fix yours. GKL is one of them. 49 is going to be used. Well, what's the other angle that 49 needs to be added with to give us 180 degrees? Nope. German? HGK, okay? We need this 131, okay? It's HGK. Jaden, do you see how H, G, and K, this is a smaller angle than the whole thing? Okay? If you go all the way to F, you're including the 41 and the 131, okay? All right. And then what are the pair of adjacent angles? John, give it to me.
I think it's FGH and
F, G, and H, and G, K, and L. Nope.
wait.
Cody?
FGH and then KGF.
No.
Oh, I got it.
Yep.
FGK and HGK.
Very good. Angle F, G, K, and angle H, G, K.
I knew that.
Adjacent angles have to share how many letters?
2.
Do these share 2 letters? Yes, they share G and K. Okay? Now, all angles that share 2 letters are not adjacent. Okay? That's not a determining factor. That's just a way to check, okay, are these 2 going to be adjacent? You have to look at the figure and see, do you see how FGK is right next to GK or KGL or KGH? Do you guys see that? They have to be right next to each other, but they can't share interior points. Okay? Both of the angles that they reference down below are not adjacent. I want you guys in your groups to discuss why. These are both not adjacent. In your groups, discuss why. Yeah. Yes. No. So, let's draw them out. Let's draw them out. Guys, do this with me. Do this with me. Erase everything from your diagram. Do this with me. K, G, H. Go from K to G to H. Change colors. And L, K, G. John, do they share a side?
I don't think so. Like, they don't share like a line.
They share GK.
Oh, no, not, oh.
Do they share a vertex?
Yes.
No. That's required for them to be adjacent. Do you guys see that? Do you see how they're kind of next to each other? They're not neighbors though. Do you share your kitchen with your neighbor?
No.
Okay? They're facing each other. Do you guys see that? You should have separate kitchens, okay? So that's why they're not adjacent. They don't share a vertex. Let's try the next two. Erase your image. What's your question?
What do you mean by it doesn't share like a vertex? Like, can you highlight?
Yeah, so let's look at, do you remember how F, G, and K and K, G, and H were both adjacent? Do you see how G is the vertex for both of them?
Oh, they're not.
Does that make more sense? Okay. Let's try, oops, no, go back. Okay. You guys, the next two angles that they say are F, G, K. Start from F, go to G, and then go to K. And then do it for F, G, and H. This one's tricky. Ask yourself, do they share a side? F, G, yes. Do they share a vertex? Yes. But what's off about these two? Why are these two not adjacent? Alex? They're not neighbors, okay? They're sharing a kitchen. Do you see that? Draw the red interior points. Do you see how the red interior points are all these points over here? Are the blue interior going to overlap those? Uh-oh. They should never overlap, okay?
So wait.
You don't share part of your house with your neighbor. You guys live separately, okay? You're right next door, but you don't share stuff in your house. Yeah.
So.
Oh, hold on. Go for it, Sophia.
Okay. So
Shh.
adjacent angles, they have to share like what? The same line.
The same side, the same vertex, but no interior points.
So they can't overlap.
They can't overlap, okay? These ones share a side, these ones share a point, but they overlap. Gucci? Uh-oh.
Does that mean like they don't share like a common plane?
No, they should be on the same plane. Okay. Linear and vertical angles. Okay, linear and vertical angles, okay? Linear pairs. Two adjacent angles. Now for linear pairs, guys, underline that. They are adjacent angles. That means they are what? Neighbors. They're next to each other. When their non-common sides are opposite rays, that's a fancy way of saying they form a straight line, okay? Always form supplementary angles, okay? These two, angles 1 and 2, are a linear pair because if we added them together, what do they form? 180, also known as a straight line, supplementary angles, okay? So these are a linear pair. They have to be next to each other, okay? They have to be adjacent. Do we see that? Okay. Vertical angles happen when two lines cross each other. They form they're like directly opposite each other. For example, 3 and 6, do you see how they lie exactly opposite each other? Those are vertical angles. We are not going to call them what? What did I put in all caps? Do not call them opposite angles, okay? Yes, okay? They are vertical angles, but they do lie opposite each other. So 3, 4, and 5 are vertical, and 3 and 6 are vertical. Okay, guys, take this second image. Which of those angles are linear pairs? Marcus? 3 and 4 are a linear pair. Very good. What's another set of linear pairs? Cody? 4 and 6. There's 2 more. John?
5 and 6 and 3 and 5.
5 and 6 and 3 and 5. Very good. Are we seeing this? Are we Gucci? Okay. Ha. 2 angles form a linear pair. The measure of one angle is 5 times the measure of the other. Find the measure of each angle. Go. What would the larger angle be if the smaller angle is x? Kristen? 5x. Can you solve it now?
I put 50 and 10. Like the 10 on the smaller side.
50 and 10?
Yeah. It's like 50 is 5 times bigger than 10.
Yeah, but so guys, if a question like this is asked, linear pair, right? You should have drawn this picture. Make your smaller angle a variable, make your larger angle 5 times that variable, okay? So 5x and x. You guys agree that this is going to add up to 180? So 180 should equal 5x plus x. What is 5x plus x? 6x. So 6x is equal to 180. We divide both sides by 6. Divide by 6. We get 30 equals x. Gucci? Now, it asks for the measure of each angle. One of the angles is 30 degrees. What's the measure of the other one? 150 degrees. So, the measure of an angle is twice the measure of its complement. Find the measure of each angle. Go.
Oh, snap.
It's 1.
Well, does that have to be adjacent or no?
Did it say it? Then no.
This is right there.
We got one. We got one person who got it.
2x plus x.
Nope. We got 2 people who got it. We got 2 people. Don't show anyone. You didn't get the whole thing. What's it asking for? We got 2 people who got it.
Wait, Mr. Year, go someone on the right side right here?
We got 3. 4.
You actually did it wrong.
You're right. You got it right.
Ronnie didn't get it right, Mr. Yurko.
Yes, that's 5. We got 5 people.
Hold on, I got it.
5 people. I need to get up to 7. John, it says something.
Is that it?
That's it.
Yeah, but look, Ronnie
That's it.
Ronnie
Let's
got it wrong.
go.
Here go, Ronnie got it
You
wrong.
did too, you got it right.
He got it wrong too. Oh no, he got it right.
What do you mean? It was 30 and 60.
Yeah.
I know, but he did it as a 188.
Oh. Oh. Yeah, that's the wrong picture. That's the wrong picture. Guys, if they're complementary, they should add up to 90. My smaller angle is going to be what? X. And my bigger angle is going to be 2 times x. They add together to give me 3x is equal to 90. We divide by 3, x equals. How do I know what the measure of the other one is? You could subtract from 90 or just multiply it by 2 because it said it was twice 60 degrees. Let's go. Questions? Comments? Last 2, okay? This is just the slide. Hey, I know. I've been talking a lot, okay? I need you guys for like the last 2 minutes. I promise. Do not ever assume anything about a diagram. It has to be labeled. Do you guys see all the mumbo jumbo that's going on down here? Okay? Do not assume any of that. If it gives you a picture like this, you can't assume anything about this picture. You have no idea that DBC is a right angle unless it tells it to you. Do you see how it gave you the mark in the second one? It gives you this mark here. Do not assume anything about a picture. Okay? It has to tell you exactly that information. The only thing that you'll be able to assume is that ABC, do you see this line? Do you agree that that is a straight line? That is the only thing you can assume about this photo. Are we Gucci? Everything else will have to be given to you. Okay, last one. Use each diagram to solve for the indicated angle measures. I want you guys practicing with this problem. See if you can get both of them. Go.